Hi everyone, William from Own This Property here, and I'm back with a much needed update on the Lentor new launches. And in this video, I'll be covering in much greater detail my top pick, Lentor Mansion. If you've been watching my channel, I've previously done the ultimate guide to Lentor new launches, so this video will serve as a 2024 update. Now if you're keen to check out that previous guide, I've left the video link in the description below, so click on it to find out more. With over 6 launches in the area, it's very important to choose the right unit, not less the right development. So this video will go into much greater detail about Lentor Mansion, whether it still remains my top pick, and whether it is the right property for you. Before I continue, if you'd like a copy of the Ultimate Guide to Lentor New Launches 2024 update, click on the link in the description below and I'll be happy to send the PDF to you. Now back to the video. First, let's recap on what has been going on in Lentor so far. Lentor Modern was the first to launch back in September 2022 and is 98% sold to date. This was followed by Lentor Hills, which was launched in July 2023 and is 77.8% sold to date. Next, we had Hillock Green, which is launched in November 2023 and is 38% sold to date. Many are still not familiar or convinced about the Lentor area, but truth be told that sales have been pretty decent so far. Looking at where the demand is coming from, it is clear that majority of the buyers are from District 19 or 20. In other words, HDB upgraders with BTOs that have reached MOP are looking to upgrade to this area. Finally, the most recent launch was Lentoria on the 2nd of March this year, and is only 18.7% sold to date. Now with 18.7%, does this spell the end of the Lentor area even before we get to Lentor Mansion? So let's do a recap of our 5-factor analysis of Lentor. My scoring has also been reflected in the individual development's performance so far. Now Lentoria's poor sales is likely down to its small size, being furthest away from the MRT, and buyers are also waiting for the launch of Lentor Mansion to have a better comparison. After spending hours analyzing Lentor Mansion, I've actually revised the score under development to 5 out of 5, which makes Lentor Mansion our best scoring and still my top pick for the Lentor area. So Lentor Mansion, as of this video, the preview has already started and is looking to launch on the 16th of March. Looking at the renders, you will see a very familiar color palette to Lentor Modern and Lentoria. The design is also inspired by Singapore's historical black and white bungalows. A total of 533 units spanning 3 blocks of 8 stories and another 3 blocks of 16 stories. Now the good news is that the car park provisions are 90%, despite this being a project that's relatively close to an MRT. In terms of unit mix, Lentor Mansion does not have 1 bedrooms. So units start from 2 bedroom 1 bath, and the 2 bedroom comprise about 40.2% of the development, which usually targets just the investors. This is also the only development in the entire Lentor area that has 5 bedrooms. So overall, the development's unit mix is geared towards family-owned stay, and this is a huge positive. Looking at the site plan, Lentor Mansion will boast a tennis court, 50-meter lap pool, GoGo Land's signature grand lawn, and more. So it immediately stands out from other developments as having more amenities spanning across the largest plot in the Lentor area. And this was the key reason why I've actually upgraded the score under development to 5 out of 5. By taking the size of the land plot divided by the number of units, you'll realize that Lentor Mansion is the least dense amongst the rest at 1:41. Its lower density will definitely be felt by future resale buyers looking for a home, with only Lentoria offering a similarly low density, albeit with much less condo facilities compared to Lentor Mansion. Hence, Lentor Mansion really stands out as the best development in the entire area thus far. Another standout feature of Lentor Mansion is its proximity to good schools. Now, based on my own measurements, 100% of the development is within 1 km of St. Nick's. Now, do note that as long as a part of the building is within 1 km, the entire building would also be considered within 1 km. But please, I've received comments from my previous videos that my measurements, which were actually correct, differed from a very popular property YouTuber. So if you are looking to buy this development, especially the top left corner, which is block 60, please do your own due diligence. With all the boxes ticked, we can finally answer the question on whether Lentor Mansion's price is a good entry price. Before we do that, we need to understand the impact of the new URA GFA Harmonisation rules on Lentor Mansion. To put it into a simple picture, see how much space the aircon ledge is taking up to place two compressors. Now in the past, such areas do not count towards your gross floor area of a development, and yet developers have been charging buyers for that space. If you look at the chart here, notice how the green bars, which represent the average size of a condo unit, has been on a downward trend since 2013. However, the average size of the AC ledge has actually been increasing. So that means that not only have the units become smaller, the actual livable space within the unit is also shrinking more. Under the new rules, all strata areas such as the curtain wall and AC ledges will now count towards the GFA, which ultimately reduces the total sellable area developers can sell by approximately 7 to 8%. A simple example here is this 4-bedroom unit that was 1,356 square feet on paper under the old guidelines. At $2.83 million, this works out to about $2,087 per square feet. However, under the new guidelines, essentially the unit has shrunk on paper to 1,270 square feet due to the aircon ledge no longer being calculated into the area. As a result, the PSF has increased to $2,228 per square feet. Hence, for the next segment, it is actually fairer to compare the quantum rather than the PSF of the different developments compared to Lentor Mansion. Before I continue onto the layout and price analysis, I know that Lentor might still not be for you, but don't worry, I've also done the ultimate guide to OCR new launches in 2024. The video link is left in the description below, so do check it out. First up, let's take a look at the smallest layout available, the 2-bedroom 1-bath. At 527 square feet, it sounds really small as there are some recent launches with 1-bedroom plus studies of the same size as that. However, that's again due to the aircon ledge, so based on my rough calculations, you can see that the adjusted size is closer to 557 square feet. I think that this layout will definitely be close to 100% sold out on day one because the entry price is very attractive. Now, assuming the average selling PSF is $2,350 per square feet, the 2-bedroom 1-bath at Lentor Mansion will still be the cheapest in the entire area. At the moment, you can also get a 2-bedroom 1-bath at Hillock Green. However, if you take a look at the layout comparison, I think Lentor Mansion wins. Firstly, the wall-to-wall distance of the living room is much wider, which gives you a greater sense of space. Now, a smaller kitchen is also sensible as singles or young couples who buy such a unit tend to not cook that much. Next, let's look at the 2-bedroom 2-bath layout. Again, if we adjust for the aircon ledge, Lentor Mansion size is closer to 687 square feet, which is ideal for 2-bedroom 2-bath in today's market. I think that the average price of about $1.5 million is a good entry price, especially when we compare it to Hillock Green, which has already transacted at an average price of $1.548 million and is also not within 1 km of St. Nicholas Girls' School. And what I like again is the dumbbell layout, which maximizes space efficiency, but more distinctly is the wall-to-wall distance of the living room is 3 meters. Now, this is much wider than the competitors at Lentor Hills and Hillock Green, making your unit feel a lot more spacious and comfortable. Now, if an open concept kitchen is not your thing, then Lentor Hills kitchen that is tucked away and enclosable will be the next best option. Next, let's compare the prices and layouts of the 3-bedroom 2-baths or the 3-bedroom standard. Again, Lentor Mansion size looks strangely small on paper at only 818 square feet, but in reality, it is closer to about 883 square feet if we include the aircon ledge. And the price is highly competitive. If you assume an average selling price of $2,300 per square feet, a 3-bedroom unit at Lentor Mansion will be under $1.9 million, which is lower than all the other developments in the area. Lentor Mansion and Lentor Hills are almost identical here, except for the kitchen again, where Lentor Hills comes with an enclosed kitchen as standard. For Lentor Mansion, you can actually build your own partition to enclose the kitchen, since there's a window and you can definitely walk hay. I feel that Lentor Green has the worst layout again, as the wall-to-wall distance of the living room is only 2.7 meters. Lentor Mansion also does have more variations of 3 bedrooms, which is perfect considering that the target audience are families looking to buy within 1 km of St. Nick's. It even has a 786 square feet 3 bedroom. It manages to do so again because the aircon ledge is excluded and the dumbbell layout maximizes the space. The only downside for this layout is that the open concept kitchen is not enclosable. Whether you're buying for own stay or investment, the 904 square feet 3-bedroom flex layout is my top recommendation because it gives you all the essentials such as a kitchen that you can walk hay, large living and dining area, and a bonus flex room which can use as a study or helper's room. Moving on, let's take a look at the 3-bedroom 3-bath or the 3-bedroom premium units. Assuming the average selling price of Lentor Mansion is $2,300 per square feet, I think that the quantum of about $2.277 million is pretty competitive. More importantly, if you envision who will be selling to in the future, it is going to be families who wants that 1 km to St. Nick's. So let's compare with Lentor Hills and Lentoria. At the moment, Lentor Mansion is still the cheapest unit you can get for a 3-bedroom 3-bath layout that is 1 km to St. Nicholas Girls' School. Since I wouldn't recommend Lentoria, let's just compare Lentor Mansions with Lentor Hills in this instance. So both have their pros and cons and will probably boil down to your individual preference. On one hand, Lentor Hills has a yard where you can hang your laundry. On the other hand, Lentor Mansion doesn't have one, so you probably have to hang your laundry in the balcony. But the plus side is that you get a flex room to do a study or a walk-in wardrobe. And all this is packaged into a smaller size and hence a more affordable quantum. Next, let's look at the 4-bedroom 3-bath options at Lentor. Now, if we assume the average selling price of about $2,250 per square feet at Lentor Mansion, the average quantum of $2.761 million is highly competitive compared to the surrounding developments. If we narrow it down to units that are within 1 km of St. Nick's, I think Lentor Hills also is a good option to consider, although there are only 15 units left. This again boils down to personal preference for the layout. Lentor Hills prioritizes the kitchen area for a yard and a storeroom, while Lentor Mansion prioritizes a larger living and dining area and a massive master bedroom with a walk-in wardrobe. Lastly, Lentor Mansion is the only development that has the 5 bedrooms layout. There will be 2 different layouts to choose from, but they are essentially the same apart from an additional corner or nook for the larger layout. I think that this is also a good option if size is your priority. Now, people often say, why not just get a landed freehold property in the area? Well, that's not wrong. An average 5-bedroom landed is upwards of $3.5 million. And they tend to be much older, so you will also have to fork out a huge sum to do A&A or renovations. Hence, I think that Lentor Mansion's 5 bedrooms, which start from $3.176 million, addresses that gap in the market today, so the exit strategy is also safe because you have that buffer to protect your profits. So finally, who should be buying Lentor Mansion? Assuming my price estimates are accurate, I think that there's very little reason not to like Lentor Mansion. It is a good option for both own stay and investment, and is said to be the standout development that future buyers will consider first. The unique selling points and competitive advantages that it has over other developments in the area makes your exit strategy safer in an area that has high supply. Nevertheless, I wouldn't recommend buying this if your goal is for a quick short-term flip. With that, we've come to the end of the video. Now, if you're keen on the Lentor area, do contact me for a one-on-one consultation where I'll cover other things not mentioned in this video. Very importantly, for example, is the stack analysis. If you like a copy of the updated Ultimate Guide to Lentor New Launches 2024, or you're also considering other alternatives, click on the link below and I'll be happy to reach out to you. Thank you once again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and wishing everybody who is taking part in the Lentor Mansion ballot all the best. I'll see you in the next video.